everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spring Fever. As always, it is me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only, the incomparable Uncle Rico, aka Eric. What is up, my man?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
How you doing, dude?
Doing okay, man.
We are
Can you hear me?
doing good. The
Is my
Eric. Oh God, starting the show off dying. We got a big show today for you guys. We're going to talk CFL Week 8. We're going to preview CFL Week 9. XFL season tickets just went on sale. And we got NFL preseason coming up, so we're going to see plenty of studs from the XFL and USFL in rotation. This is the time where we get to, cheer on our boys. This is where we're going to cheer on, our boys and just be like, hey, I'm like a proud dad watching my XFL and USFL kids play in the preseason, get their shot, and see who gets to stick around. I'm so happy that it's here. And then, of course, we're going to cap off the show with a little Indoor Football League Championship celebration. I'm not doing the horn sound effects on this episode. I promise you, Eric. It's okay.
I appreciate that, my friend.
There may be some other sound effects coming on, but there will not be the horns. So let's start us off. Let's talk a little XFL season tickets. They're on sale. They just got released, I believe, yesterday. And it looks like there's a couple teams that don't have options. So the Houston Roughnecks and the Vegas Vipers do not have season ticket options available. They are, of course, changing venues. I believe the contract with the Roughnecks with their stadium ended. Don't know where they're going to be moving, just another part of Houston probably.
Yep.
Vegas, I don't know.
LA, maybe? Or do you think they stay in Vegas?
I mean, I assume they stay in Vegas. I really do think they're going to stay in Vegas.
Where will they play, though? That's the issue. There's nothing.
If they don't fucking have something announced by, what's the latest you'd be comfortable with them announcing a stadium?
January.
I'd say December. Mine was going to be December. Like the end of December started. If they don't have something announced by December, I'm worried. That's my.
LA would be concerned too.
Because you can't have 2 years in a row of that, right? You can't.
No, I mean that was that. What they did was freaking embarrassing.
It was. It really. In all honesty, it was super embarrassing. Not a good look.
I mean, it was utterly embarrassing what they did.
They got to have something in mind. I don't suppose that they will switch. I don't think they're going to switch cities. I think they will stick with Vegas.
I think they should, dude. I mean,
they probably should, but I don't know.
It was excuse my language, if there's kids watching, it was a fucking embarrassment.
You at least have to change.
All those stadiums looked visually fine on the screen, visually pleasing on the screen. But dude, a Vegas one was fucking embarrassing, dude. It was an embarrassing thing, dude. And you don't think that with how people are talking about it on Twitter, you don't think people notice that?
Oh, I don't think you can't keep the same venue no matter what.
Yeah.
You definitely cannot keep the same venue. They could stay in Vegas, maybe? I don't know. They just need to find a venue. If they had an actual venue in Vegas, I feel like maybe it could work.
I mean, but what is the venue? That's the problem, though.
There's got to be a way they could play at UNLV's old stadium, right?
What isn't that under control
it's
of
under the Raiders?
Yeah.
Maybe it still is. You can't go Cashman's again.
No, that was visually it was so embarrassing. They're up on that scaffold and it's like shakering. It looked like not Jimmy. Galloway was about ready to shit his pants when he was announcing the fucking game, dude.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I mean, I think, like, you said it the best, and maybe it's something with the alcohol sales, like that high school stadium.
Oh yeah. Oh God, why am I blanking? Bishop Gorman.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect situation. I don't know what you do with that, but like I think it'd be a good spot. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be something we got to keep an eye on, and once they announce it, it's going to be huge news. Moving on though, Eric, the NFL preseason is underway, and there's going to be plenty of players to watch out for. One team kind of already has a like a cornerstone.
I'm sorry.
Go for it.
So Sam Boyd Stadium, a no compete clause between UNLV and Allegiant Stadium.
So there you go.
I mean, that's it. So, I mean,
they can't play in Allegiant either. Like that's too big of a venue.
Oh no, way too big.
It'd be way too expensive. I'd totally go to a game at Allegiant though.
You go to Allegiant?
I'd go to Allegiant, dude. I'd go to Allegiant so hard.
I mean, I'm just looking back at this Cashman Stadium shit. It was fucking embarrassing. All their stadiums looked fucking great. Maybe I'm a little fired up right now, but it was embarrassing.
Oh, it was terrible. I was there.
Okay, here we go. Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas approved an agreement with Las Vegas Soccer to allow them to hold XFL games for the 2023 and 2024 season.
Which one was that?
Well, no, this is Cashman. So I mean, sorry, I was reading an old thing. I mean, this is just embarrassing what it is, but I don't know what other stadiums they have, like, you know what I mean? Like, have in that area. Like, what other places do they have in Las Vegas? Is there one in Henderson?
Yeah, I think I remember looking up one in Henderson when they were like didn't even have anything named. So I
mean, it just goes back to the thing. Why the hell are you fucking, excuse my language, God, I'm fired up tonight. Why,
Eric, I love it. Bring the heat.
Are you going to a place where you don't have a fucking stadium locked in?
Well, now they have to find one in Houston too.
Yeah,
they gotta find a new one in Houston. Houston, obviously, we know has way more options available.
Houston has a ton of options.
I bet they could play in Rice's stadium.
Oh, they can play anywhere. Rice's, Houston Stadium.
Yeah, they can play in so many. I think they're going to be fine with Houston. Vegas is still up in the air. I don't think they leave this year, but you can't go back to Cashman's.
No, I mean, with how embarrassing it was and people just blasting it online, there's no way in hell you can go back to Cat.
When I'm bashing something about the XFL, you know it's serious. That's where we were at. Eric, if we look to the future, though, we have the NFL preseason. We have players to be on the lookout for. This is the time to eyeball if any of these players that were in the XFL and USFL, how they might shape and fit into an NFL roster. If you remember from last year, this is where Kevontae Turpin blew up in the preseason and then made the starting roster for Dallas.
Yeah, he balled out of control.
So there's a couple players to keep your eye on. I very much believe we'll see Alex Mago in preseason for the Green Bay Packers. I don't know. We might see a very, the fact that Jordan Love's not as experienced, you might see a decent amount of him. I don't know. You will see Alex Mago out there.
Yes.
100% you will.
Even that especially a lot that first week.
Oh yeah. And just to mention that, shout out to the Birmingham Stallions for getting 9 players on NFL rosters.
That is absolutely absurd.
The next highest, I believe, take a guess which team had the next most selected to NFL rosters so far.
The Panthers.
You were right. It's the Michigan Panthers with 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 players selected.
I like it.
Yeah, the Stallions are basically just owning the USFL in number of players selected, but we'll see if any more get contract spots, get roster spots after preseason of the NFL. Just shout out to the Stallions, shout out to the USFL. It's looking really good. Now, Eric, we move to the league up north. It's time to talk Canadian Football League. We just passed week 8 of the season.
It's flying by.
Starting off, we called this, Eric. The Hamilton Tiger Cats defeated the Ottawa Red Blacks 16-12. We called it.
Hey, sharp action, dude. Line got down to a pick. Some shops they had it as a Hamilton laying points. We were ahead of the curve.
Dustin Crum, I mean, neither quarterback looked good in this game. This was kind of just like a shit fest game that Hamilton scraped out. I don't know if either team deserved this win in particular. Shout out Bo Levi Mitchell for winning a game. Here's the stat line, Eric. 23 for 40, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
That's a stat line that our friend, the throw god, he would have been proud of, dude.
He would have. That's a stat line I could definitely see him having. Also, I guess, like, the offensive line for Hamilton's not really anything special. James Butler hasn't been having a breakout season like he had last year. These teams are both not good.
No.
That's just a nice, easy way to put it. Toronto Argonauts 31, Saskatchewan Roughriders 13. I don't know what more you want us to say about this. The Argos are the top team in the league. Mason Fine coming out the gate swinging. 302, 0 touchdowns, 2 INTs.
He went over his passing yard prop, so good for him.
Good for him on that. Chad Kelly, Swag Kelly, went under his.
How many did he have?
11 for 21, 122, a touchdown and a pick.
Oh, oof.
But they win it 31-0.
Yeah, they're probably on a little cruise control.
They're probably very much on cruise control here. Leading receiver, Cam Phillips, by the way. Love that guy. We'll always shout him out. XFL original. Love me some Cam Phillips.
Love you some Cammy.
Okay, folks. Here's the one we got to rip the Band-Aid off of. BC Lions 27, Edmonton Elks 0. Edmonton Elks set, I believe, a CFL record 21 home losses in a row.
I don't mean to be a dick, man.
This team sucks.
This team's really bad. I mean, it's the point where it's fucking embarrassing.
At this point, I'm not even going to be the guy championing Taylor Cornelius as much as I love him. Get Trey Ford in there. He's a Canadian. See what you got in him.
Mm-hmm.
Just see what you have. It can't be worse than this. It can't be. Guess what? Vernon Adams didn't even play. This was Dane Evans for BC.
Yeah.
And he still balled out. BC, I think if BC plays Toronto again, I think these are easily the top 2 teams.
Oh, for sure.
It's easily like a 2-horse race at this point.
Yeah.
And, Edmonton, this is like the worst year. This is the worst year of maybe any professional team I've watched. This is up there with just badness.
So, let's say Edmonton calls you. Jim.
Okay.
I want you to give me a 5 steps on what I need to do to get this boat headed in the right direction. Step 1.
Fire the head coach.
Step 2.
Redo the entire offensive line.
Step 3.
Redo the entire defense.
Step 4.
Figure out what you have at quarterback.
Step 5.
just do everything better, I guess, after that.
But don't like. So basically, the one thing that made you made clear is they just don't have the talent. Where does that come from?
They have skill position talent is the thing. They have a
They don't
good
have
running
talent
back.
in
They
the
have good
trenches.
receivers.
They don't have talent in the trenches, dude.
No, offensive defensive line is not there for Edmonton.
So with that being said, man, that falls on the GM in my eyes.
Oh yes.
So you got to get rid of you got to get a new GM. You got to get that going in the right direction. That's number one. And then you just got to kind of build from there, dude.
I think that's probably they got to basically do like a whole ground up thing.
Yeah.
Which, geez, I'm sorry. The fans of Edmonton don't deserve this because they're good fans up there, and they've just been getting shit on for years.
Yeah.
Last game, Montreal 25, Calgary 18.
We had this one.
We had this one too. This is kind of like Calgary's, like in my opinion, the best of the worst, and Montreal's the worst of the best. If that makes sense.
You know what, Jim? And that does make some sense, buddy.
Like I have them at like one's the top of the bottom tier, one's the bottom of the top tier, but I think they're still separated by those tiers.
Yeah.
And Montreal, I think, is like at least a decent team. Calgary's just an team that has moments.
Calgary's a what?
An team that has moments. And like Cody Fajardo didn't look great, but I just feel like Montreal's just all around a better team.
I agree with you, buddy.
And William Stanback's a dude. He's a fucking dude.
He's just a dude.
He's a fucking dude. But now, Eric, we look to the future of the CFL. Week 9 is approaching. Game number 1. Interesting line. The BC Lions take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Bombers minus 5.5 with an over-under of 45 plus 200 on the money line for BC. Eric, say your famous line that you say every fucking week with the CFL, it feels like.
The sports book is not your friend. Is that it?
Exactly. This line is so fishy to me.
Yeah, so just say, hey, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to sit the day out.
Eric, you know me better than that.
But
I'm
someday,
gonna buy in hook, line, and sinker. I'm gonna take BC plus the 5 and the money line.
Jim,
I'm doing it. I can't not. Call me a sucker. Do it.
Jim, you're a fucking sucker.
God, I'm still gonna fucking do it every time. I'm still doing it.
You're taking Winnie.
I'm taking BC plus the 5. I'm not psyching myself out. I'm taking who I believe is the better team. The wrong team is favored. Even with Dane Evans, I think BC is a better team. Winnipeg has just not looked the same team all year this year. I stand by that. Maybe this is when they turn it around. Maybe. But until they do, I'm going to be betting against them.
What about some props here?
What do we got for props, Eric?
Well, no, I'm not seeing any props. Is there any props that are kind of like, oh?
Let me see what we got pulled up here. Let me see if they have any. I know this game is Thursday. It's tomorrow night. Let's see what we got on the docket here. Because they might actually, shout out Bovada for having props in general. But sometimes, they obviously won't have props for, any of the other games. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got for props. Okay. Oh, there's no player props.
All right, let me see. Let me go to this book.
No player props. It's
Let it go.
But yeah, I'm on BC. Give it to me.
That should be your motto for Bovada.
What?
The song from Frozen, Let It Go.
That's a good one.
Football CFL player props. We only have Powell and Forgiano. They only have them for Montreal and for the Tiger Cap games.
Why is that the only game they have player props for?
Oh, here we go. We got some first time and anytime TD score. Ooh.
What game is that for?
BC Winnipeg.
Okay.
Toronto and Calgary.
Well,
I got
okay, for BC and Winnipeg, throw out a couple names in their odds. I'll tell you if I like them.
Rashid Bailey
What are the odds?
plus 300 anytime, plus 13-1 first one.
Nah. We'll do two more.
Winnipeg's defense
With Dane
Plus-
Evans, I don't hate it.
plus 350 anytime, 1700 first.
I don't hate it anytime. It's just plus 350. Dane Evans is not.
What about Dane Evans or Zach Coloris? Both six. Dane is plus 600. Zach's plus 650 for any time.
They're more throwing quarterbacks. They're not really the guys to run it in. Especially Dane. Dane's getting old. I don't, not loving it. But I'm going to take BC. I'm going to do it, even with Dane Evans. That's making me a little hesitant, but I'm sticking with my guns. I'm going for it. Game number 2, Toronto Argonauts, Calgary Stampeders. Eric, the Argos are -9 on the road. Total is set at 51. Plus 345 on the money line for the Stampeders.
That's a lot of points, man.
That's a lot of points.
You know, I just kind of feel like you just can't bet this team right now. You got to find it. I don't know, man.
I'm going to take Calgary.
You trust Calgary?
+9, I do. With the way I think Toronto's still on cruise control.
Yeah.
I think they're going to cruise against some of these lower tier opponents that Calgary has shown themselves to be. I'm going to take Calgary +9 at home to kind of catch them sleeping a little.
A little sleepy spot. Who do they got next on the schedule, Jim?
Let's see who they got next on the schedule. So up next on the schedule, they have Ottawa. So it's not really like a look ahead spot.
A little bit of a rival game, no?
If it was Hamilton, I'd be more worried.
Okay.
But I still think it's a sleep spot. I still think they're kind of like sleepwalking through this part of their schedule. Game number 3, Montreal Alouettes head to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Alouettes are 3-point road favorites, over under 45, plus 135 for the Tie Cats. And this is a bad team. This is the tier system I keep talking about. I'm taking the Alouettes.
I kind of want to take the Tiger Cats.
I don't hate it either, Eric, but I'm taking the Alouettes.
Keyword. Kind of.
What I might do... Ooh, there we go. Alouettes team total. Over 23.5. Now the Ticats kind of have a good defense. Maybe I go... here. I might play the under 45.
A little bit of the under 45.
I'm going to play that too. Under 45. I'm actually betting a lot of CFL this week.
Yeah, you are, dude.
Last game, Eric. Ottawa Red Blacks, Saskatchewan Roughriders. Red Blacks -1.5 on the road. Over under 44.
Who are the Redbacks to be laying points on the road?
They are. Exactly. I'm taking the Roughriders straight up.
Yeah. 155% agree with you, my friend.
Plus 105? Yeah, give me the Roughriders straight up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So, my bets for the week of CFL. I'm taking the BC Lions plus 5.5 and money line for plus 200. I'm taking the Stampeders plus 9.
Jesus.
I'm taking the Alouettes -3.
Wow.
And the under 45.
Oh,
and I'm taking the Saskatchewan Roughriders money line plus 105.
I'm going to take Saskatchewan plus the points. I'll take the Tiger Cats plus the points.
I don't hate it, Eric.
And hold on, you know what? Hold on. Maybe. And just for shits and giggles, I'll put a little bit on Jack Mayer to score a tutty.
Ooh, I like me a little Jake Mayer action. I like that guy.
You know, little Jakey poo at 8-1.
Now, Eric, there is a league that is having their championship game this weekend on Saturday. The IFL, the Indoor Football League.
Okay.
We are having the Sioux Falls Storm, who have had a crazy postseason run, by the way. Absolutely bananas. Taking on the Bay Area Panthers. So last week, the Sioux Falls Storm defeated the Frisco Fighters 45-44.
45-44.
45-44 in a fourth quarter comeback. It was
Wow.
a banger game, dude. It was amazing.
Wow.
In Frisco, Texas, like last second touchdowns left and right. It was mwah.
It was tight.
Oh, it was good. It was such a good game, Eric. It was such a good game. Almost went to overtime.
They are getting 6 on one book I'm looking at.
Well, Bay Area did just decimate Northern Arizona. They won that one 68-46. And they were kind of in control the whole time.
I'll take Sioux, dude.
What's the money line?
Only plus 150.
Ugh. They bought into your storyline aspect. You should have gotten them as a future earlier on.
I did. I told you, dude. I was selling them.
You did. You did tell me. This is going to be a banger game. I'm going to be streaming, watching this game on Twitch. It's going to be a blast. Saturday, 3:05 our time, Eric.
You know what, buddy? I'm sorry. My brother's in town this weekend.
You're a busy boy. Also, that's kind of early for a championship game, right?
You know what, dude? It's you take what you can take when you're there.
It's 1:05 local time in Vegas.
You know what, dude? Those guys, again, you got to take what you can take when you're the indoor league, dude.
It's true. It's in Vegas at least.
You got to take what you can take, man.
It'll be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be watching the hell out of it. Shout out the IFL. It's been a blast. The postseason has been electric to watch.
It's been a good run, man.
I wish there were more ways for me to bet on it personally.
Jim, I could be your bookie for it, dude.
You want to be my proxy?
I could be your proxy for that.
Well, if they continue on that for next year, I might have to make you my IFL proxy. It might have to be a thing that happens. But anyway, anything else that you want to cover on today's episode, Eric?
When do you think we see the USFL or the XFL get to the point where they're going to add a team?
Ooh. At this point, with how slow the USFL is moving, I don't know. I would peg them as the first team to add a team. The real question is, do you add just one team or do you add two to keep it even numbers?
I don't know if you can add 2.
So you go from 8 to 9 instead of 8 to 10?
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Another question for you. 2 parts. Let's say first it's a USFL. If the USFL expands, what's the city? If the XFL expands, what's the city?
So first, to answer your first question, I can see the XFL doing it year 3 or 4. I can see the USFL doing it not until year 5, really.
Really? Okay.
So basically, I could see them both doing it maybe at a similar time. The XFL just doing it sooner. They seem to like the USFL is really just like it's cool and everything, but they're going very slow, very methodical with the way they're doing things. So I can see them kind of expanding at a similar time. City-wise, I think the USFL should go west. They have no market like west of Texas, like nothing. Mm-hmm. Maybe you hit Denver. Maybe you hit a team like Seattle. I know they have XFL, so maybe it's a little bit harder. Maybe you hit maybe you hit the Bay Area, like in Oakland.
Yeah, getting people there, I think in Oakland's just gonna be tough, dude.
It's tough. They don't have a team anymore though. Like they get the Raiders move, so maybe you can kind of grab some stuff there. For any of these leagues, San Diego would be a good option.
Oh yeah, that's 100% true.
Similar to the XFL. The XFL, I think, could go to Oakland if they maybe they revive one of the old franchises. They had the Oakland Outlaws, I believe.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be a good move. Honestly, The XFL, personally, to my heart, near and dear to my heart. My favorite team was the LA Wildcats. I wanted to bring them back, but I know it wouldn't be the same. So you don't need to go to LA. I think the XFL should probably actually go another team, if not the Midwest, then the Northeast.
Okay.
So I would love a team in like Chicago, or
I would go to a game.
Chicago would be sick. Shout out Cool Kev in the chat.
What up, Kev?
But I think Chicago would be a great one. I think either of these leagues. I think Denver would be a good option.
Yep.
Salt Lake City was interesting. I don't think their crowds were great for the AAF, but it would be an interesting option.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego's a good shot, but like Chicago is like, I know people say, oh, the big cities don't work, like New York, LA, whatever. I think Chicago could be interesting.
I think Chicago would work, to be honest with you.
I think Chicago would work. KC would be interesting too. Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm not like as big of a guy on it. The one thing you can't do in the XFL is put any other team in Texas.
No.
You got 3 teams in Texas. Maybe another team in the South somewhere.
They're like, you get a team. You get a team. You get a team.
Maybe another team in the South somewhere for either of these leagues.
Yeah.
Like the USFL at least has New Orleans for when they expand.
Mm.
Maybe like one of the Carolina cities. I don't know.
Charlotte.
Charlotte would be an interesting one.
A little Riley.
So if I list, I'm just going to list my top 4. Sorry, I'm going to do top 5. Top 5 cities in no particular order that I want the USFL or XFL to put a team in: Chicago, Denver, San Diego, Charlotte, and then I blank. Maybe like, I don't know, some team in the Northeast. I don't care.
Mine would be San Diego, 1. 2, I would go.
Oh, where would Uncle Rico
Chicago.
go? Okay. Where are we going? 3. Where's number 3 for old Uncle Rico?
I want to go East Coast. But I'm not in Florida. I don't want to go to the Carolinas.
Virginia?
What about Minnesota?
You go like the Twin Cities sort of deal?
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting one.
Maybe something like that. Maybe go to, I don't know, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee would be cool. Hitting the Midwest would be really nice. Love us some football up here.
Maybe go to like Indianapolis.
I don't think you go to New York.
Strike up a deal and play like in Louisville.
Yeah, that'd be Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't like Cincinnati. Ex-girlfriend lives there.
Oh, fuck Cincinnati then.
Yeah.
I know as much as you want like the TV markets for like LA and New York, it's just hard to.
There's just too much stuff to compete with.
There's so much to compete with. And I loved it. Like the LA Wildcats had a great game. They had a great atmosphere, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Well, folks, that'll do it for this episode of Spring Fever. Eric, what do you got going on?
I have my podcast that comes out on Friday. You're going to be on there. And then I have my live stream that comes out on Tuesday where we'll be previewing the NFC East.
Boom. Y'all know where to find me. XFL Gym everywhere. I got my IFL championship stream coming out this Saturday. We're going to be watching along for the championship game. And of course, I might be doing a sumo stream this Saturday, this Friday night. Watching a little sumo.
Look at you.
Watch a little sumo. I gotta get my my little loincloth situated.
Fuck Jimbo. You're not gonna be wearing a loincloth, are you?
Well, I don't. What are they called? Sumo.
Jimmy, if you're wearing a loincloth, dude, I don't know if I can.
What are they named?
For you.
The Mawashi. I gotta get my Mawashi. I'm gonna wear. I do have a Mawashi that I need to. need to set up. Eric,
Right.
you don't think I'm going to look good rocking one of these? You don't think old XFL Jim is going to look good in that?
You don't want your monster dong to pop out, dude. That's the
Oh, it's plenty big. I ordered a size big.
okay. You want to size up?
I sized up. So that be looking out for that on Friday. But I'll tell you this off stream, but it's a whole fucking deal. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again next week for another episode of Spring Fever.